British Prime Minister Keir Starmer decided to celebrate multiculturalism by going on a 10K hike with a Hindu and a Muslim. Perfect photo op. They were planning to stay at a hotel at the end of the hike, but about halfway through their journey, PM Starmer chipped a nail and started sobbing uncontrollably. They kept walking, but PM Starmer's moaning and wailing slowed them down, and the Hindu and the Muslim got a bit worried because it was getting dark, and they weren't sure they'd be able to find the hotel in the middle of the night. Fortunately, just as they were wondering if they were going to have to sleep on the ground, they came across an old farmhouse. They went up to the old farmhouse and banged on the door, banged on the door, banged on the door, until an old farmer finally answered. The farmer said, "Can I help you?" Prime Minister Starmer replied, "Look, I can't stand working-class British losers like you and your stupid non-posh accents, but I chipped a nail and we can't find the hotel, so could we stay here for the night?" The farmer says, "Well, I've got one guest room with 2 beds, so 2 of you can stay in the guest room. I don't have room in the house for a 3rd guest, but I've got a barn out back with plenty of hay." Two-tier Keir responds, "That will be splendid." Then he turns to the Hindu and says, "You know, I am the Prime Minister, so I shouldn't be staying in a barn. How about you sleep in the barn tonight?" The Hindu answers, "No problem. I'll sleep on the hay." And he heads to the barn. Two-tier Keir and the Muslim lay down in their beds. About 20 minutes later, there's a knock on the guest room door. They open the door, and who do they find? It's the Hindu. The Hindu says, "I'm sorry, I tried. I didn't want to come back and bother you, but I can't sleep in that barn. There's a cow in there. The cow is sacred to me. How could a lowly person such as myself sleep in the presence of such a beautiful symbol of life and purity and motherly love?" Two-tier Keir sees the problem and says, "I understand and I hear you. Why don't you come and sleep in one of the beds in the guest room, and we'll let the Muslim go sleep in the barn?" The Muslim says, "Mashallah, I'll do it." He heads out to the barn, and two-tier Keir and the Hindu lay down in their beds. About 10 minutes later, there's a knock on the guest room door. They open the door, and who do they find? It's the Muslim. The Muslim says, "I'm sorry. I tried, but I can't sleep in that barn. There's a pig in there. The pig is a disgusting creature to me. I can't sleep in a barn with a pig, knowing that this filthy, vile animal that will eat anything, even its dead relatives or its own waste, is in there with me." So the Muslim and the Hindu stare at two-tier Keir for a while, until he finally says, Okay, I know I'm the Prime Minister, but I'll sleep in the barn. Just make sure you tell everyone later about how I let a Hindu and a Muslim sleep in beds, whilst I, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, went and slept in a barn." Two-tier Keir heads out to the barn, and the Hindu and the Muslim lay down in their beds. Not even 5 minutes go by, and there's a knock on the guest room door. They open the door, and who do they find? It's the pig and the cow.